It's your girl Thickness with the Quickness, and you are watching me on my YouTube channel, baby. But before we get started, I would like for you to like me, share me, like and share me with anybody you like and you love. Anybody you like and you love, okay? And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because every time your girl Thickness with the Quickness upload any kind of video, baby, you will be first to get notified.
Introducing Razi 01.
Y'all, come on in here, everybody. First of all, let me give a shout out to all my new subscribers. What's up, baby? What's good in the neighborhood, okay? To all my new subscribers, thank you for choosing me, okay? And let me get a shout out to all my old subscribers. What's good in the neighborhood, everybody? Okay, when I looked up, y'all, your girl had 342 subscribers, and I was like, look at God, okay? Look at God, okay? I'm still crawling, baby, but I'm gonna begin to walk, all right? And ain't nothing wrong with crawling. You got to crawl before you can walk. And I just want to give a shout out to all my new subscribers, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I might have more than that, but the last time I checked, that's how much subscribers I had, and I'm grateful for each and every one of y'all, my old ones and my new ones. Y'all, thank you and welcome to this here channel, okay? You guys, thank you guys for coming over here to this here channel, baby. We don't do nothing too big, we don't do nothing too small. We just regular old people over here, okay? Over here, okay? Only thing I just ask you guys to do is just be mindful in these comments, okay, y'all? Just be mindful in these comments, y'all. Let me tell you, y'all, I had to get in it. Baby, some of them comments was on my page, baby. I had to get with it, you know. And then me, I'm a Cancer, I got a heart, y'all. I had to go back and delete it because I was saying so much deep shit on that, you know, on a I was saying so much deep shit, y'all. I'm getting mad all over again, y'all. I was saying so much deep shit in those comments because somebody leaving me a nasty comment. First of all, y'all, I don't like coming up out of my body. I don't. And I noticed that I still got a lot of working on myself to do, because now that I'm a grown adult with kids, I thought that I could calm down a little bit, but I see once you got that in you, it'll never go away. You know what I mean? And I don't like when people make me come up out of my body. But you know, that's that. Enough of that. And yeah, it's just what it is. I just feel this. I'm gonna say this right here. I was always taught, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing at all. If you don't like what I'm doing on my channel, you don't like the way I look or nothing like that, nobody is making you stay here. Look and keep it moving. That's it. Who needs your comments? Because I'm going to tell you, I get down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? I get down with the get down. I don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I still got to work on as an adult. I thought I was past that lifestyle. But baby, when they brought the dog in me, baby, I began to bark. Okay? I began to bark. But I'm not going to be letting nobody get me out of my body again. Your opinion is your opinion. But watch what you say. You know what I mean? You never know what a person is going through that day or in their life. For you to say something that, you know, that is mean to say. You know, when are we as people going to start bullying other people? That's why you got so many people right now sleeping forever right now, because there's someone bullying somebody. Hey, leave me the fuck alone. If I ain't come for you, why you coming for me? Okay? Why you coming for me? Okay? Do I look like I'm somebody gonna come for you? I'm not. Because what the fuck you do and what you eat don't make me shit. So I just feel that y'all, please get the babies up out of here. Please get the babies out here, because I didn't even want to open up like this, but hey, I just gotta address the elephant while we in here, because I just feel that if you ain't got nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. And I'm going to repeat that over and over and over and over again, you guys, because that's just the way I was raised. But I know right now today, we all are under pressure, and we're trying to find somewhere, somebody, some way to get that pressure up out of them. And if it's somewhere where you got to fuck with somebody to get that pressure out for you and make you feel a little better, hey, I understand, but please don't come this way. okay? Because I'm not for the bullshit. I'm not. I'm not. I respect everybody that respects me. That's just what it is. And I know right now we are at a time right now that we all trying to find an outlook, and I know that. And I know pressure can get so tough on you that you want to say something and you don't need to say anything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so, y'all, I can go on and on about this, but I'm going to leave it right there. That's it. That's all. I'm going to leave it right there, y'all, because today, you guys, I got a story to tell. Okay? I got a story to tell, y'all, and I want y'all to listen. Okay? I want y'all to go on over there to get your juju beans and your wham wham. So y'all come on back in, and if you got any babies in the house, go ahead and remove the babies up out of here. And if I didn't say it at first, I'm saying it now. Please get your babies up out of here, because sometimes thickness with the quickness will can go to a 0 to 100 real quick. But I'm the lady. I am a lady now, and I try to control this here mouth. I try to control it, but sometimes it just get away from me and I can't stop it. That's because somebody fucking with me. I consider myself as a sweet person. I'm a Cancer, and I know a lot of people ain't with the sign, zodiac sign, but I am truly one of those people that believe in the zodiac sign. And they say that people that believe in the zodiac sign don't believe in God. Oh yeah, I believe in God. Oh, I believe in God. Okay? I think this is why he is directing me to people with different zodiac signs, because I know some zodiac signs don't mix with me, and I know not to even bark up their tree or either go in any direction they in. Okay? And that's because experience is my best teacher. Okay? All right, y'all. So y'all heard what I said, baby. Okay? Y'all liking this black and pink? I'm sure I am. Okay? Okay? Shake it a little bit for me. Okay, and y'all, it's a damn fly in here. He gonna make me mad. I'm about to get up and get my fly swatter because I'm a swacker. Okay? I hope he just keep on over there on the other side and stop flying past me, because I'm about to get up and get this fly swatter. Okay? But y'all on going on to get your juju beans and your wham bams, and we'll be right back here. You hear? Okay? We'll be right back here. You hear? All right. So, yeah. Bam! And we back, okay? I hope y'all got y'all juju beans and y'all wham wham. So come on, y'all. It is story time, y'all. This story time is about me, baby. This story time is about me when I had my little hustle going on and I let somebody fuck it up for me. Sure did. So y'all, this was back in I like to tell y'all the years and stuff. So this was back in 1980. I want to say it was in 1988. No, it might was 1987 or 1988, y'all. This is when this happened, okay? So anyway, y'all, I was working at Burger King. So I would go to school and then I would go to work. That's all I did, Monday through Friday. I had the weekends off. I had my weekends off, but I worked Monday through Friday. Every day. And I went to school every day. So I really didn't have time to do anything, y'all. I was back there hustling and bustling at that job, and then trying to keep my grades up as well. So anyway, y'all, this is when I moved from the south side to the west side. So when you move, you got to transfer everything. You got to transfer, where you live at. You got to transfer your light bill, your gas bill, all that type of shit. And also you got to transfer your schools and your doctor's office. Okay. So I had been going to this doctor office on the south side for a really long time. So since we moved from the south side, I had to find me a new doctor's office. Okay. So I ended up finding me a new doctor's office, y'all. And, it was a couple of blocks from my house. No, it was a bus ride from my house and everything. So, you go to the doctor and you go for your checkup and things like that. So, I met a nurse. She worked at the doctor office. She was a nurse. And all of a sudden, me and her was just talking, and we just hit it on real, because I always been a person that loved grown company. when I was a kid. I loved to be in the presence of grown folks, y'all. I didn't hang around with kids my age. I always hung around grown people. I'm saying, like, if I was 16, I hung around people 25, 26 years old. Been like that, still like that today. I always like to hang around grown adults, okay? So anyway, I want to say I was about either 16 or 17. I can't quite remember. Okay. So yeah, I had to be like 16 or 17, I believe. Yeah, one of those ages. But anyway, so me and the nurse, we cool. I go in there for my checkup. I go in there for anything that I need to get done and stuff like that. And even when I didn't need to go to the doctor's office, I just go over there and to her job and just kick it with her. You know what I'm saying? You know? And even when she wasn't at work, I would call her on the phone and she would call me on the phone and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was just that cool. I want to say she was about at least, 30, 31, years old, because she had kids and everything. So one day I go in the doctor's office, I saw her with some contact lenses on. I'm like, girl, where you get them contacts from? She was like, I know somebody that got them. I'm like, for real? I'm like, girl, I want to get some contacts from that person. I said, whoever it is, I say, let them know that I want to get some contacts from them. She said, okay, cool. She's like, what color you want? Back then, y'all, I wore nothing but contact lenses. And I think right now today, that is the reason why my eyes are bad like they are today. Okay? Definitely. So I was like, girl, I want some gray ones. So y'all, I always got gray contact lenses. I always wore gray contact lenses all the way up until I was like in my late 30s. That's how often that I wore, contact lenses. So anyway, she was like, yeah, I can do that. She said, yep, I can definitely do that. I can get in touch with the person, let them know you want current contact lenses. And I'm like, so how much they cost? She said, oh, they $15. And I was like, okay, cool. So she was selling them for $15. So at the time, she didn't let me know that she was the person that was selling the contact lenses. She just told me that she was the middleman, right? So she called me. She said, I got your contact lenses. I said, cool. She said, but this is the deal. She said, do not ever come to my job getting the contact lenses. She said, if anybody that wants some contact lenses, she said, tell me, and then I'll tell that person. She said, never let nobody know that I sell contact lenses. She said, never, oh, my bad, I told the story. She said, never let nobody know that I have contact lenses. And I was like, okay, cool. She said, okay. So I get that pair from her. I'm walking around the block, everybody, oh, where you get them contacts from? Where you get them contacts from? And I was like, I know somebody got them. They was like, well, let her know, let me know, because I want to get some brown ones. I want, so people started telling me the colors of contact lenses that they want. And I was like, okay, cool. So, I'm doing my thing. So I pick up the phone and I call and I'm like, hey, somebody else want to get a few people that I know around the block want to get some contact lenses for you from you. You know what I mean? She was like, okay. She said, I get in touch with them. She said, what color they want? So I'm telling her the colors that the people want. So she said, okay, cool. So she was like, all right, well, meet me over here. You know what I'm saying? So I met her down the street. So she bring me the contact lenses and shit. And I give her the money. So I go give the contact lenses to the people. So I do that with that set of people. So that was like 2 or 3 people. You know what I'm saying? So as I go around and shit, I'm, working. I'm getting out of school and shit, working, going to school and shit like that. So I come back around the block. Somebody else running to me. They was like, hey, I heard you got the contact lenses and like that. And I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like that. And they was like, well, let me know, because I want to get some contact lenses. Okay. And I said, all right, I'll get back with you about it. So anyway, one day I just called her and I was like, hey, somebody else want to get some contact lenses. She said, okay. She said, listen up. She said, I'm going to keep it real with you. She said, I'm the one that sells the contact lenses. She said, but she said, I'm trusting you. She said, because I'm only telling you this. She said, I sell the contact lenses. She said, and if anybody want them, they coming from me, not the middleman. She said, I'm the one that is running the contact lenses. I can get them anytime I want, any color I want, I can get them. She said, so I see you out here handling business. She said, you bringing me customers left and right like that. And I was like, yeah. She said, and I like that. She say, so you work? I say, yeah, I got a little Burger King job. I work and go to school. She said, okay, cool. She said, you want to make some more money? I was like, yeah, what's up? She said, since I see how you handling the business like this, you know what I mean? She said, how about I give you the pack of contact lenses? She said, I give you any color. She said, I give you all the colors. And, she said, they come in tens like that. I was like, okay, cool. She said, how about I just give them to you and you work them? And then, when we get the money, she said, we'll split the money down the middle. I'm thirsty. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Because I see how easy that I'm letting them go like that. So she was like, well, yeah, we could just split the money. She said, then again, we ain't got to split the money. She said, I'm going to give you majority of the money since you out here selling them. She said, I'll just take me a little piece off of them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, cool. To me, I'm like, it's another hustle. Money can go in my pocket. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool. So she was like, okay. She said, well, we'll talk more about it like that. And I said, okay, cool. So anyway, she called me out of blue. She had got off work. She called me. She said, look here. She said, I'm going to meet up with you. She said, we're going to sit down and have a talk about these contact lenses. She said, because I need you to get a really good understanding with me about these contact lenses. And I said, okay, like that. So we end up catching up with each other. We sitting back, we talking. She was like, look, she said, I can get these contact lenses anytime you need them. She said, but what I'm going to tell you is this. She said, do not tell them that you get them from me. And do not ever let anybody know where I work at. And don't send nobody to my job, asking about these contact lenses. If somebody want to deal with you, they deal with you. They want the contact lenses and they deal with you. They don't deal with me. And I was like, okay, cool. She said, the way it looks, she said, it look like you got a nice little hustle with them. She said, because you've been getting business back to back. I said, yeah. She said, well, long as me and you got this good connection, this understanding, about the contact lenses, we're cool. And I was like, okay, cool. Mind you, y'all, I started rocking and rolling with her. I'm rolling with the contact lenses. I got every color you want. Because she's told me to sell them for $10, $15, y'all. I started selling them for $20. Okay? And she was like, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's on you. Whatever you want to sell them for, that's how you want to sell them. So, y'all, I started selling the contact lenses for $20 a piece. Like that. So, y'all, I'm rolling. She rolling, we rolling. I call her, hey, I need to get the contact lenses, meet me over here. Okay, come through. I come through, I go get the contact lens, or we'll meet down the street, or what have you. I'm doing it, okay? I got people running up to me back and forth. You got contact lenses, you got the blue ones, you got the gray ones, you got you got the green ones, this, that, and that. I got people coming at me left and right. Mind you, I'm going to school and I am working at Burger King. I'm working Burger King full time, y'all. Okay? So, y'all, business got so good with these contact lenses because back then, y'all, the contact lens was a hit back then. Those contact lenses was popping back then. Let me get a sip, y'all. Those contact lenses was a hit, y'all. So everybody wanted some contact lenses. So, y'all, I'm rolling. We into it probably about a year. We into it. Same routine every day, every time I need them. Don't nothing change. We got it down packed how things were supposed to be going. And we got a nice little system. Okay? One thing I liked about her, y'all, she was true to the game. She was about her business. She was an educated black woman. She was a nurse. She had a beautiful house, and I'm going to tell you how I knew she had a beautiful house, because she trusted me that much where she allowed me to come to her house. Okay? That's how cool we became. You know, we was already cool before I started selling the contact lenses for her. Start getting the contact lens for her, but we got even cooler when, you know, we became partners in the contact lens business. So we got everything going on. We good, y'all. We got a good thing going on with the contact lenses. The money was great. When I tell you, y'all, that I was racking in, I was making a nice little penny, and I was working for Burger King. So what I ended up doing, y'all, the money was so good, the business was so good. That little hustle that I had, that was the most best hustle that I had ever had in my life. That hustle was so good, y'all, that I ended up cutting down some of my hours at Burger King. I ended up went from full-time to part-time. That's how good that money was rolling in on the contact lenses. Y'all, I was supplying the whole side of town that I lived on the west side. Everybody was coming to me for contact lenses, okay? So, we rolling in the contact, y'all, okay? We rolling. So, at this time, y'all, I want to say I was like 17 and a half. I was like 17 and a half because I was getting ready to turn 18 soon. Okay. So I want to say now, y'all, I'm rolling with her for about 2 years now. We rolling together for about 2 years with the contact lenses, and we're even closer than close now. So anyway, our routine was down pat. You know, I knew when to call her. I knew when to pick it up. So one day she had decided to go out of town. She was like, look, I'm getting ready to go out of town. I won't be around for you to get the contact lenses. So I'm just going to leave you with this box. Y'all, she brought me a big ass box full of contact lenses. And I was like, damn. I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm going to store these at without my mama finding them. You know what I mean? She was like, she said, you ain't got nowhere to put them at? I said, no. She said, because I'm getting ready to go on vacation and I'm not going to be able to give them to you. Like that. I said, I know, damn. Like that. So she said, well, what you going to do about it? I said, I guess I got to take them. So I ended up taking the contact lenses, y'all. And outside our house, we stayed in an apartment building. Outside our apartment building, we had a closet. So I took the contact lenses and I put them inside inside that closet. That's where I kept them at. So I'm good. She out of town and shit. And she was out of town for at least about 3 weeks to a month, y'all. That's how long she was gone. She a nurse. She could do that. Okay. So I'm rolling. You know, I got the contact lens and I'm getting the money. I'm rolling. Going to work. I got a nice little hustle, y'all. I got a nice little hustle, baby. So anyway, she ended up coming back. She did a month. She left us for a month. She ended up coming back. So when she came back, y'all, I'm 18 years old. Right? I'm 18. So now, you know, basically, shit, I'm grown. I'm doing what I want to do and how I want to do it and when I want to do it. I'm grown. I'm doing my thing, you know. But I already had finished school and everything. School was over with and all of that type of shit and everything. So, you know, so all I was doing was working Burger King and I was doing my little hustle. That's all I was doing. My little hustle in Burger King. Like that. So, y'all, I got tired of working at Burger King. So I say, you know what? You know, I talked to my supervisor. I told him like, hey, I'm going to take a break. You know, if I need to come back, you'll let me, let me come back. He said, yeah, I'll let you come back like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So y'all, I left Burger King. I'm full time doing my job. Okay. Selling contacts. Okay. So y'all, in this process and shit, y'all, I end up taking bad off sick. I'm like just sick as a dog, sick as a dog. When I say sick, I'm sick, you know, and I'm like, why the fuck am I feeling so sick? I ain't paying no attention about nothing. I just know I started feeling really bad, sick and shit. So I was talking to her on the phone, and I'm like, look, I don't feel good. She's like, well, probably you need to come in the doctor's office if you ain't feeling good. And I'm like, girl, I don't think it's nothing. I think it's just a little cold or something. I said, but I'll figure it out later. So anyway, I'm rolling with the contact lenses, y'all. So I'm steadily working. So let me say, this person, okay, this person was related to me. What is related to me? This person was related to me, right? And their mother wanted some contact lenses like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, like that. And I said, I'll get back with you on that. I said, I said, I can't get in touch with the person right now. I said, well, when I do, I'll let you know. And I said, well, what color you want? She said she wanted some hazel and some brown. Hazel brown or something she said she wanted. I said, cool. I said, well, when I get a chance, I'll get back with you later. And bring them over here to you. Like that. And she was like, okay, cool. So y'all, a couple of weeks went by. 3 weeks went by. I got really sick. Real sick at this time. So I was like, damn. I said, I'm feeling fucked up. I need to go to the doctor. I said, I can't keep nothing down. Everything I eat making me sick and I'm throwing up. Y'all, not thinking. Nothing else. So I go to the doctor with my girl, because I want to say she's my girl, she's my best friend. Okay. I go over there to the doctor and shit. But I don't want to get into this part of it too much, y'all, because it's a story that I'm gonna tell y'all about this. But anyway, I go to the doctor, y'all. I found out I was pregnant. Okay. That's just that. And I'll tell y'all about that story too. Okay. So anyway, so I'm talking to her. She, tell me, this, that, and other. And she was like, so what are you going to do? I'm like, hey, just do what I got to do. I'm going to keep it moving. So I'm steadily selling contact lenses, feeling fucked up, sick, but I'm still selling contact lenses. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, this person that is related to me, their mother really wanted these contact lenses. So I kept kind of putting her off because I didn't have them at the time. We was waiting on them to come in. But, she just kept asking me. Mind you, y'all, I'm pregnant. I'm feeling fucked up. I'm out of my body. This is when I'm pregnant with my very first child. I'm feeling fucked up. My body going through some changes, something I ain't never done before. I'm just like taking it all in, being a first time mama, everything. I'm just shit. My mind just going every way but the right way. But I'm still rolling with my contact lenses job, because that was, to me, that was a job, that was a hustle. I was getting paid out there selling these contact lenses. So anyway, somehow, y'all, I end up going over to their house. And I was going looking for my cousin. I was going to look for her. And so I get to their house, y'all. I'm just so fucked up. You know how when you're pregnant, your mind don't even think. You're not even at your body. You just want to get somewhere and make yourself feel better. You know what I'm saying? You just so sick, you just want to be somewhere and make yourself feel better. So I end up just stopping by their house for some reason. I don't remember what I stopped by there for, but I knew I wasn't stopping by there to give her the contact lenses, because one, I didn't have them. It was kind of down for a minute, but they was on their way. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped by there and shit. So soon as I walk in the door, her mama just start coming at me. I thought you said you was going to give me the contact lens. And I thought you said you were going to give me the contact lens. When are you going to give me the contact lens? And I'm like, hey, I don't know. They haven't came in yet. I said, but just give me some time. You keep saying that over and over. You keep saying this over and over. Give you some time. And I keep saying, and I'm giving you time, but you never bring them. I said, well, I can't do nothing if I ain't got them. You know what I mean? I said, just give me a chance and I get them. So I come in the door. I forget the whole situation why I come in the door to ask something. I can't even remember what I came in the door with. Because she came straight at me about the goddamn contact lenses. So I'm like, damn, you know. So I'm sitting there talking to my cousin. So she come back in again. She was like, well, I just wish you would hurry up and let me know something, because not only me, but I got 3 or 4 other people want some contact lenses. Like that. So I kind of saw that she had an attitude, you know, a little attitude and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking, because I'm thinking this is my cousin, this is her mother, and I'm not thinking anything about it, because I'm looking at them as my family. So I'm not thinking about it. So I saw that she had a little attitude and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I leave. So a few days later, you know, I come back over there again. She bum rushed me again. And at this time, y'all, I don't know, but when I carry my babies, y'all, I get really, really sick. Sick is where sometimes I got to go in the hospital, or sometimes I just have to lay in the bed, because I get really sick when I get pregnant, y'all. So I had came over the house. My mother sent me over there for something, because her and my mama was trying to go somewhere. And my mama was telling me to go over there and see was she ready or something. My mama wanted me to get something from her. I just don't really know what the fuck it was. But I end up back over there again. So as soon as I come in the door, she yap. I thought you said you was going to give me the contact lens. Do you know where the girl at? No, she said no. She didn't know who I was getting from. She said, you don't know when you're going to get them back? She said, I really want them contact lenses so bad. I just wish you would hurry up and get the contact lens. And I say, look, I don't have them right now. I said, but my girl, she got them and she works here. Did y'all hear what I just said? What did I just do wrong? I told her, well, my best friend, the person that had been looking out for me and her cool, I did something that I was not supposed to do. I've been down with this girl for almost 3 years. We've been down with these contact lenses, close to 3 years. I fucked around and slipped and told her who the girl was and where she worked at. I'm not even in my right mind, because I'm so fucked up and so sick. I'm pregnant. I'm just all messed up in the head. When I told her that, y'all, I said, oh my goodness, did I just tell where my girl at? And I did. Instead of me calling my friend and telling her that I fucked up, I was too embarrassed to call her and tell her that I fucked up and told this woman where she worked at. I was too embarrassed to tell her, but I know if I would have called her and told her that shit, she could have got better prepared. So anyway, y'all, and when I told her that, I was like, oh shit. I say, please don't go up to her job. I said, give it to me. I said, give me a minute. I'll get them for you. I said, oh shit, I made a mistake. I said, please don't go up to my friend's job. I said, please don't do that. Baby, that motherfucker went right up there to that girl job. Okay? She went right to the girl job, right? So, soon as she went up there, my friend, she calls me. I pick up the phone. All I hear is yelling. She's like, didn't I tell you not to tell no motherfucker where I worked at? Didn't I tell you not to tell nobody y'all worked at? And this, that, and another. She said, I told you I only deal with you with the contact. She said, me and you been doing this shit for a long time. She said, why did you tell somebody where I worked at? I say, shit. I said, it slipped out my mouth. I said, it was not my intentions to tell this motherfucker where you worked at. Like that. I said, it was not my motherfucking intention to tell this motherfucker where you work at. She said, this motherfucker, little short ass, skinny motherfucker, ugly ass bitch came to my job. I said, what? She said, this motherfucker came to my job and asked the people, where's the girl that sells the contact lenses? She said, when I heard this motherfucker say that, y'all, she said, when I heard this motherfucker say that, she said, where's the girl, where's the black woman that works here, sells the contact lenses? Mind you, she's the only black woman that worked in this clinic. And so she said it to the doctor. So the doctor's like, what woman sell the contact lenses? Don't nobody sell contact lenses in here. This is a doctor's office. She said she looked, she said she stepped back around the corner. She said the doctor come in, she said it's a woman out here asking where you at. You sell contact lenses. She said, I don't sell no contact lenses. She said, why is somebody up here saying that I sell contact lenses? He said, I don't know, but you need to go talk to her. So she go talk to her ass. She told her, she said, I don't sell contact lenses. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. My niece told me that you sell them. And I just want to get a brown pass. She said, ma'am, I don't sell no contact lenses here. Like that. She said it real aggressive. She said she looked her in her eye. She said, then the bitch woke up, you know. So by that time, she walked out the door. Her doctor called, the doctor called in the office. He said, what was that all about? He said, so you selling stuff out of this clinic? She was like, no, I don't sell anything out the clinic. You know how I know? Because she's telling me what had happened. She called me, she started telling me what had happened. So the doctor was saying, yeah. He said, I really think you do sell them in here. He said, why would that woman come in here asking about some contact lenses like that? He was like, well, I got to go talk to my supervisor about this. She said, that's what he said. Like that. She said, so she go back to work the next day and shit. She said when she get there, she said that her doctor forced her to resign. He said, either I can fire you or you got to resign. So she ended up resigning from her job, y'all. Because this motherfucker went in her job and asked her about them contact lenses. And y'all, that was on me. That was on my foggy mind ass. Foggy, sick mind ass. I'm sick, my mind foggy. I just got tired of the motherfucker saying something to me about the contact lens, and then that just made me just shout the shit out. So y'all, she ended up resigning from her job, y'all, like that. And she was like, man, I trusted you. She said, me and you been rolling like this for 3 years. She said, you let some motherfucker pressure you and tell you where you get the contact lenses at. I said, you know what? It really wasn't like that. I said, man, you know what? I can't even. I said, all I can say to you that I am sorry. I made the biggest mistake in my life. I said, I am so sorry that you lost your job behind this. She was like, yeah, I did. She said, now who's going to take care of me and my kids? She said, my shit ain't for free like everybody else's shit is free around here. She said, I have to pay bills and I got to take care of my kids. She said, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. She said, but the good thing about me, she said, I end up resigning and then letting him fire me, because as long as I resign, it won't look bad. It won't be on my record. She said, I can go get a job anywhere. She said, but I loved it here at this job that I was at. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, damn, I'm sorry. I made the biggest mistake ever. I say, I'm so fucking sorry, man. She said, well, you know what? She said, well, you know what this means. I said, what? She said, man, I don't want to have anything to do with you again. I was like, what? She said, the contact lenses shit is shut off. And she said, I'm done fucking with you too. And I'm like, damn. I said, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm a woman before I'm anything. I said, I'll be about it. I said, I apologize. I'm sorry that this happened. There's nothing else I could do or say about it. I made the biggest mistake in my life. I say, I had a good thing and I fucked it up. And she said, yep, you did that. And I was like, okay. And I said, she said, all I want to tell you, good luck on having your baby. Be safe, take care of yourself and all that. And she's like, and I'm out of here. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I just want to say that I'm so sorry. I made the big mistake and I'm so sorry. And I can understand if you never forgive me, but I am so sorry. And she was like, I know you are. She said, I know you are. She said, I know you sincere about your shit. She said, because me and you ain't never had no problem. She said, I've been trusting you ever since I met you. She said, I know it. She said, I know it. She said, this bitch probably was just coming at you too hard and so fast that you couldn't even catch your own shit. I said, no, I couldn't, because that's the way she was coming at me. Like that. And so I said my goodbye. She said goodbye to me too. And I never heard from her no more. I never heard from her again. I never seen her again. I never knew whatever became of her or nothing like that. I know I ain't worried about it, because I know she was a smart, educated black woman, and she was a nurse. She knew her shit. So I know wherever she is today, I know she's good. I know she's blessed and highly favored, y'all. And to that auntie, that cousin, mama of mine, y'all, I was furious. And I went over there and I asked her, I said, why did you go up to my friend's job like that? I said, why did you do that? I said, at the end of the day, you still didn't get no motherfucking contact lenses. You did all of that shit and you still didn't get any contact lenses. Y'all, I was pissed off. I went to her straight up like a woman, because at this time I'm about 19. I'm about 18. I'm 18 going on 19 now, y'all. And I'm big pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that was dead wrong for you to do that. You should have never did that. And I asked you not to do that. But your thirsty ass want to go over there and get the contact, instead of just waiting on me. So from that day on, I never had no feelings for that woman again. And that's my cousin mama. And I never had nothing. I never went back over their house no more. When I go to their house, I was going over there when she wasn't there. But then after I had my baby, I cut ties anyway. I didn't have nothing to do with my cousin or going over there anyway. It was just a done deal. You know what I mean? It was really over with. But yeah, y'all, that's just how I lost my little hustle. And this is the end of the story, you guys. I hope you enjoy it. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody fuck up your good thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't never let a motherfucker fuck up your good thing. And y'all, I still say that today. That was on me. I just wish that my mind was a little bit sharper when I was pregnant. But hey, first child, mentally, I was going through some shit. Physically, I was going through some shit. I had a baby growing at me that was taking over my body, baby, and I didn't know what the fuck that was about. I was going through shit mentally, you know what I'm saying? Because carrying a baby, you get in your sad mood, your happy moods, you just all over the place, baby. So y'all, yeah, that was the end of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Okay, y'all. But yeah, so yeah, y'all, that's it. So in the meantime, between time, y'all, never let anybody sit on your happiness, and never let nobody fuck up your good thing for you. Okay. God bless. Y'all stay safe, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace. Bye-bye.